Hi Cancer, my name's Leona from Supra Conscioussoul, and this is your Can We Fix It reading. What do we need to do to fix this? What do we need to do to fix this? Now this can relate to any situation in your life. What can we do to fix this? Cancer. So, bring balance, firstly. Okay. Okay, so underneath the deck, we have the Three of Coins. Now, the Three of Coins talks about building structures. It talks about being seen for the work that we do. It talks about trying to build up finances, trying to build up support, trying to build up aid as well with the Three of Coins, yeah? It can talk about being in a place where you're trying to be seen for what you're creating. You're trying to be seen. You're waiting for people to come around and see that you're starting to master what you're doing. Yeah? So we come in with Temperance underneath the deck. Now Temperance is talking about a need to create balance or harmony in a situation. And the way to do that is to create using a bit of this and a bit of that, and it creates, once you get to the perfect level, that's when the alchemy is done. That's when you can create something. That is when it's like as above, so below, yeah? So there's a need to kind of transmute a situation, but it's about, with Temperance as well, it's about allowing people to be themselves, or allowing things to be itself, but while also trying to get to that perfect balance, yeah? It's almost like a dance, yeah? Between the cups with the Temperance card. It's that balance that needs to be done, and it's only when it gets to that right moment. So there's a need to kind of come together in a situation, but allow it to kind of flow. So underneath Temperance, we have the Hermit card. Now, the Hermit talks about self-reflection. It talks about gaining wisdom with the snake as well. It talks about going inside ourselves and knowing that it's like this is something that we've seen before with the Hermit. He says you have all the answers within you, and it's about going within in order to find those answers, yeah? It talks about looking at the past. It talks about once we've had this period of reflection with the Hermit talks about pulling back. It talks about a period of solitude. It talks about, it's like the period where we feel like we need to make a decision, perhaps, yeah? Now, the Hermit doesn't come back out and communicate until he's reached that decision, until he's got that light, and he can come out and then communicate using wisdom, yeah? It's almost like there's a decision that cannot be made right now because there's a stalemate, or you're allowing other people to control the situations, or you're feeling like other people have a control of the situation and there's nothing you can do about it. It's also somebody who's refusing to kind of tap into their intuition about a situation. They're refusing to see it as it is because they're not taking off the blindfold, yeah? So there's a decision that needs to be made, but there's going to be a time of solitude, yeah, before it's fixed. I don't feel like it's going to just, you can't just jump it. It's not just going to fix straight away. So the Page of Wands, he can talk about somebody who is going off to kind of find his passions, find his inspirations. He could be going off, pulling away, going off to travel as well, yeah? Somebody could feel like they're being left behind in a situation. Somebody's moving on, or they're moving on without them. It could also be about somebody wanting to go off and follow their passions, yeah. They're not kind of being held back by others. The Page of Wands talks about somebody who's newly learning their trade, somebody who is still got a lot to learn, somebody who's still, they know the goal, but they possibly don't know how all the steps are going to get for them to get there, yeah. So they're just going off. They're not sure when they're going to come back, how they're going to come back. It's that kind of energy. But there's also a kind of sadness to it, that they're having to leave these people behind, yeah. We have the Three of Cups. So this can talk about, it can talk about 3 women. It can talk about a mother and 2 sisters. It can talk about the mother, the maiden, and the crone. It can also talk about small gatherings, celebrations, victories, yeah. A need to come together with the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups can also sometimes talk about three-party situations where it's often like three people or a crowd. And the reason I say that, or 3 people, it's like the energy in the threesome is slightly off, let's say. The energy of the 3 is slightly off. It's like, it's almost like, because we got this underneath and we've got this energy here, it's like these 2 need to move together. They need to be pulling at the same rate and going in the same direction in order for the Chariot to move. But we do have somebody kind of here either orchestrating it or using their power to kind of possibly dominate the other 2 in a situation, or it's about somebody not moving together because they're just stubbornly sticking by their convictions. They're not moving, they're not budging in a situation, yeah. It could be that somebody's wanting to move forward as well with the Chariot. Somebody's wanting to travel again. We've got travel again. We have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Now, the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, it can talk about overabundance, over-affluence. It could talk about problems with money. It can talk about an opportunity not being given or an opportunity that's being lost. It can also talk about not wanting somebody to kind of go out of the gate as well. Because when you've got the Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, sorry, it's about then being able to use that to go out of the gate and explore. So possibly somebody not wanting somebody to go out of the gate, not wanting them to explore. It can also talk about more money, making more money. So it could talk about being on a roll financially, or the Page of Wands is walking to it. So it could be that they're trying to invest. A Page of Wands would be a fire sign, Leo, Sagittarius or Aries. We also have Temperance, which is Sagittarius, and the Hermit, which is Virgo, and the Chariot, which is your card, Cancer. So we also have Aquarius and Capricorn too. So underneath we have the Star or Aquarius, and this is talking about events that have kind of been ordained, events that are kind of being driven from above, let's say, out of your hands, possibly astrologically. It can talk about learning things like astrology. It can talk about divination, those kind of things, or it can talk about needing to go through a period of healing in a situation, yeah. So there's a period of healing that needs to come. So possibly we have the Hermit, which has got his back and is going a different way to the Page of Wands. So the Page of Wands is going over here and the Hermit's still looking to the past. So it's like until they both come from where they're going from, this cannot move forward, yeah? there is a sense, I do get a sense of celebration in the center with this as well. A sense of victory, small accomplishment. It's like supporting each other. It's a sense of protecting, nurturing, supporting each other, celebrating when you need to celebrate. We also have the devil, and it could be that somebody's feeling controlled or feeling tied to a situation. It could feel a bit like it's a roller coaster. So in terms of how you fix it with the devil, he would say it's definitely about hope, faith, and looking at things from more of a spiritual perspective as opposed to a material perspective. The devil can talk about jealousy as well. It could be, we got the 3 women there. Could be about jealousy or yeah, somebody just feeling like they're not in control of a situation. Somebody feels like they can't make a decision or don't want to make a decision or are not seeing all sides of a situation. I'm going to pull some more cards. So for the devil, give us a card about the devil. I think it's more about the spiritual and releasing any kind of jealousy, envy, greed, and just having hope and faith that this situation will come about. But there's a need for each party to come to a certain place. We have the Empress. So it's almost like when you disconnect, it's like there's a disconnect from something and then there's growth. But you have to almost disconnect materially in order to grow. The Empress is also Taurus or Libra as well. So once people kind of, there's a need to drop something materially, something to do with the devil, the 7 sins, something along. Once we kind of step from that place, then the growth can happen. So the Star. Yeah, it's like somebody feels like they're doing something all by themselves. It could feel like, but there is support here eventually. There is a coming together. And maybe it's going to be maybe hard, but there's only one more to go. We've only got the 10, the one more, and then it's the 10. Yeah, conflict. There's a need to kind of release any conflict and move the energy more together, more in line with each other, helping each other, as opposed to conflict. Yeah, there's a need for support as opposed to conflict, because they can get there faster. They've only got one more one to get before they've passed that cycle. These have got 5, but it's going to take them a long time because they're there having conflict and it's creating more obstacles for all of them. So how do we fix this? There's the 10. So it can come to a point where we just need to kind of release. It can come to a point where somebody's feeling like they're doing it all themselves. Somebody decides to drop all the sticks totally. Or somebody feels like they could have been there for them and then they just left them and dropped sticks on them. Because we have this energy, there was obstacles, and then they feel like they was there 1 minute and then the next minute all the sticks have dropped. So how long have we got? Oh, one more card. Let me quickly pull an energy card. So energy card, storm warning. It's saying that this storm isn't going to last forever. With storm warning, it's saying that just hold tight. Yeah, hold on. This storm isn't going to last forever and then it's going to clear. Yeah, It's saying that things can get better, and they can get a lot better. You just got to hold on.